Okay. Hold on one sec. Okay.
No.
Alright, so just starting off the game, first just talk through like runes and mastery since that's just the bare basics. So just looking at your stuff, I'm assuming you're running AP Quints, MR Blues, Armor Yellows, and Magic Pen Reds.
Um, I think that game I ran Hybrid Pen Reds, Armor per level Yellows, MR Blues, and AP Quints.
Okay. Uh, Armor per level is pretty meh in general. Like, I know they have 3 AD and you're not laning against AD champion, but just in general, because even when you're playing in lane, the creeps will aggro onto you and you'll take a lot of physical damage. Like, when you're doing trades, creep aggro is usually like at least like 25% of the damage you're going to be taking. So even if you're laning against a champion that does primarily magic damage, which for Diana it's kind of arguable because she has melee auto attacks are a big part of her crit too. So I would suggest running. I probably wouldn't ever run per level armor. If I was gonna run per level like armor or health, that would definitely be health, because health is a lot better just for overall damage. But per level armor is pretty meh. And then masteries, are you running 9 in defense or utility?
Utility, I think.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
9 in defense is usually good for melee champions because you get the damage reduction, whatever the hell that mastery is called.
Yeah, and you're more likely to actually like put that to use because you get poked down easier.
Right.
Yeah.
And then for ranged champions, especially like Syndra, who wants blue buff really bad, the increased duration on that is really good. Plus, you're also really immobile, so the cooldown flash is really nice also. And then the next thing we'll talk about are just team comps and what each one wants to accomplish pretty much. Just like the win conditions of each comp and stuff like that. So you guys have a pretty heavy pick-based comp with Lee Sin, Thresh, and Syndra. You guys can make picks in the jungle really easily. And you also have a really good split pusher in Shyvana. And you also have really good siege with Caitlyn. So like you guys can transition pretty well in between lanes, making picks and just pushing down towers. So generally that's what you guys want to do, which means you need a lot of wards. It also means like things like Baron and Dragon aren't really necessary for you guys. Like, and which I guess we'll see in a Baron throw later on. But the reason why I say they're not necessary is like you want to use them more as tools. Less so for Dragon, because Dragon you can just like make a pick and then pick it up really fast. But for Baron, it's kind of like a bigger ordeal. And you kind of want to keep on the map to make picks, and then so you can transfer that into getting towers or something like that. Because if you take Baron off the map, then all you really have is pushing. And you guys have good pushing too, but they have pretty like scary all-in on their team. So in terms of their team comp, like I said, it's very all-in. So maybe an early Hourglass would be pretty good against their team. Since they have Rengar and Jarvan and Diana too, they're all going to be like on top of you, and since you have no escape, probably a good idea. Especially since you have Caitlyn too, it's like it wouldn't be as bad if you had something like Draven, because then there's like another easy target to kill. but since you're standing next to a Caitlyn, they're obviously going to go for you first, since Caitlyn is a lot easier to kill. So I think you go DFG second this game, right? After.
Yeah, I went nothing DFG.
Yeah. I think
I normally do death cap, but I just got like massively fed during laning, so I just decided to go for the single target damage.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it though, like, is there a single target on their team that you really want to kill?
Not really.
Yeah, they have like this 3-pronged attack kind of thing, right? Because like Lucian, Diana, and Rengar are all pretty scary. So DFG is, I think DFG in general on Diana is pretty overkill. I mean, not Diana, but Syndra.
Yeah.
Because she has so much damage already. Like, if you go death cap, you'll probably end up doing almost the same amount of damage single target with your ult anyway. So, in general, I would say DFG is pretty overkill. And in this case, especially, I think Hourglass second would be the best pickup. But like,
Yeah.
I guess I understand that you kind of just figured the game was already over since you guys were so far ahead. So I understand that.
Yeah, in a more like balanced gold situation, I probably would have done either death cap or our last second.
Yeah, well, that's good. Okay, and just also helps keep in mind like what each jungler wants to do in this situation. And in terms of Jarvan, like, you know Jarvan is going to want to gank early. So thinking where he's going to gank first, like if I'm looking at it from Jarvan's perspective, you want to kind of put yourself in their shoes. Like, where do you think you'll want to gank?
Probably coming left side after red buff.
Right. And so you think he'll want to gank you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That would be a pretty good assumption. So what you want to do is, once the lanes start, you want to see who gets the lane first, so you can see where the jungler starts. And once that happens, we'll see where Jarvan starts and where you should be placing your wards and stuff like that. But yeah, you are right in assuming that he should be ganking middle. It's definitely the best lane for him to gank, since Syndra is really mobile. You kind of have to assume that whenever you're playing Syndra, that you're going to get ganked, because she's really easy to gank. So
yeah.
You also don't need a leash. Because if you take a look at this right now, like Diana's already getting the shove on the lane.
Yeah.
And you definitely want to be the one that's shoving her out since she's melee, and you want to be like harassing her on every melee CS that she goes for, or every CS that she goes to melee. So while leashing makes you a good guy, it does
doesn't really help out laning.
Yeah. Yeah, and like 1 Q on, like, is that really gonna make a difference?
Yeah, it's like fucking 80 damage.
Yeah, like not really gonna matter. So better just go to lane and start getting your lane advantage. So right here you want to be you want to be pushing out the creeps first, because if we pause right here, put this into paint real quick, and let me get my colors. I always forget to do these beforehand. These little things that pop up right here on the creeps now makes you like very easily see. I don't know if you can see those on there.
Yeah, I can see them.
Very easily shows you the creep aggro now.
Yeah.
And so whenever you go to auto someone like this, when you don't have the creep advantage, you can see that she has well, I mean, you have 1 melee creep up and 3 range creeps, and she has 2 melee creeps, 3 range creeps. Because you got to lane late, you don't have as many creeps as her up. So whenever you auto her or harass her while she's killing the minions, the minions are going to go on you, and you're going to have to like retreat back and then kind of reset your position in the lane, because these creeps are going to hurt you for a lot of damage, especially since you don't have flat armor seals.
Alright.
So instead of prioritizing her early on, you want to prioritize the minions so they won't aggro onto you, especially the melee creeps. Range creeps aren't as big of a deal as a ranged champion because they have longer distance to travel and the aggro range is a lot less. But for melee creeps, since they're right next to you, they're obviously going to aggro onto you like immediately once you start auto attacking or harassing her with Qs.
Okay.
So if you pause at this point and look at the minimap, do we know where Jarvan started?
Blue, right?
Yes. We know he started blue because Rengar is top, and we don't see their bot lane yet, which is a pretty telltale sign that they leashed for blue. So we know that Jarvan started blue at 150 or 155, which means he'll be doing his wolves or wraiths and then going to red buff. He'll finish red buff at about 250 and then gank somewhere at about 3 minutes. So
most likely mid lane.
Yeah, most likely mid lane. Could also be top lane, but either way, we definitely want to get a ward somewhere up here. I think I have this map, and I'll just open it up real quick. So if you take a look at the map, and this is mid lane right here, you're going to be either wanting to ward right here or into this brush right here. Or if you're able to push up the lane and get past like this point in the lane, then you can just come up through the brush right here and ward right here.
Alright.
And that will spot it in case Jarvan, because your top lane is going to want to ward right here to prevent from this gank coming in through this area. But to protect your top lane, you also want to, in case he comes through this way.
Right. So it'll cover both entrances.
Yeah.
You could probably go. Okay.
So either of these wards are ideal, but they're obviously a little bit harder to place. So we'll see how the lane plays out and see if you're pushed up far enough to be able to ward there. But if not, then this ward right here is perfectly fine in this brush. But you're going to want to ward about 250, 245. That'd be the best ward timing because he'll be ganking around 3 minutes. And you don't want to go for a ward when he's already done, right? Because then he just has a chance to kill you.
Yeah.
Okay, so here you're pushing out the lane. Well, and you have creep advantage now. Good, you get an auto. You can auto here, right here. You wanna, when you're auto attacking and using your Q, you always want to auto attack and then Q because you can cancel the end of your auto attack animation with spells. So it's a lot faster to auto and then Q than it is to Q and then auto. So just keep that in mind. Like right here, you could have just autoed her or something right there after you kill this creep instead of going for the Q here.
Right.
It's just a little bit of min-maxing for more damage.
Oh, I think I go for a kill here after. Yeah, I don't end up getting it though.
Like right here, you could actually just be playing more aggressive. Well, first of all, you need to put your ward out, right? Because you don't want to play aggressive and then get ganked by Jarvan. Because anytime within the next 20 seconds, you could be getting ganked by Jarvan. So, but right here, I mean, I think you could be playing a bit further up. Like, play, play on this side of the lane. Like, this side of the lane. Over in this area. Because you know that Jarvan's going to be coming from over here, right?
Right.
So even if Jarvan does come, you can just split out this way and you're fine.
Yeah.
So this allows you, because when you're playing on this side, I know that you're like scared to go up like this, because then Jarvan can just come through this area. But if you're playing through here, in this area, you can just stay up here, throw Qs at her, throw autos at her, and then if Jarvan comes, you can just dip out really easily.
Yeah.
So like if we watch here, like how many seconds go by that she's just standing there? Like 2.5 seconds. I mean,
I was waiting for her shield to go down before going in.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like really min-maxy, but it could have been the kill there potentially. So she just survives a little bit of HP.
Yeah.
Just a miscalculation, which is fine. Here, it's a little bit dangerous to push because you know Jarvan is here and you don't have flash up. Pretty greedy. Probably should have avoided before you went out to push.
Yeah.
But Jarvan ends up going top anyway, so it's fine. But doesn't mean the actual thing was fine to do. It just turned out that way. So you always want to make sure you know, like, respect the jungler, because especially solo queue junglers all have different habits. So it's not like you know who the enemy jungler is and can like 100% predict where they're going to be without wards. So it's really important to just always like play safe and make sure you're not overextending into free ganks, especially since you just sprint flash. Okay, good recall timing. Oh, another thing, we also know that Syndra blew, I mean not Syndra, Diana blew flash. So we could have timed that. And also, do you know that you can check to see reduce summoner cooldowns by pressing tab?
Really?
Yeah. If you pretend that my cursor is like your in-game cursor, if you mouse over people's flashes or smites or whatever, it will tell you the exact second cooldown.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so base is 300 seconds, 5 minutes. If they have the reduction in utility tree, it'll be 30 seconds less. So that'll be 270 seconds. And it will tell you that if you mouse over the icons.
Right.
So generally what I do is I just assume it's 5 minutes, and then I tab really quick to check just to make sure. And then if it is, then I just take it down 30 seconds. But it's really easy to just add 5 minutes to something when it happens.
Yeah.
And you can even do something like, right when they do it, just type like Diana F really fast, or like just enter F, whatever, and then so you get the exact timer, and then after that you can type in the actual timer, like whatever it was like 3 minutes, right? So her flash is going to be up at about 8 minutes, assuming she's not in the utility tree. So those timers are really important for yourself and for your jungler. Items here I think are fine. I think you used all your gold, right? Yeah, because you have only like 50 right now.
Yeah.
So generally speaking, you want to buy, if you have the gold, you want to buy 1 sight ward and 1 pink ward when you first back on mid laners, but since you didn't have the gold for pink ward, this is fine.
Yeah.
I guess we can just talk about pink ward placements right now, since
Sure.
yeah, even though you didn't have enough gold to afford it, you might as well just talk about it real quick, because in the future you kind of want to just plan to buy pink ward at all times. So pink ward placements for blue side is best placed here, and for red side or purple side, you want to place it here in the brush. The reason being is kind of the same thing we talked about before, because you're protecting your top lane for blue side and your bottom lane for red side, because like I was saying before, red side bot lane is going to want to ward this or there we go, right color, that brush, and blue side top lane is going to ward this brush. So to protect your laners from ganks like this, you want to ward here and here, because yeah, gank here as well.
Right. And those pink placements tend to be in bushes that not normally everyone would check, right?
Right. People really should, and if you're playing a jungler, I definitely suggest that you always check them, or a mid laner. But people still aren't checking them for some reason. I mean, one of the reasons is because no one buys pink wards in lower elos, especially. Like, even when I play in Diamond 1 solo queue, people still aren't buying pink wards enough. So, probably a reason why no one checks those brushes. But yeah, like when I place these wards, they tend to last like 10 minutes at least, a lot of the times. It's because no one ever walks through the brush.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, if your mid lane tower dies or something, or you're playing like really, or you're having to play really far back, you can move your wards back a little bit, like blue side to right here and red side to right here, just to protect your own jungle, to clear out like the wards in this area and this area.
And those would both still be with pinks, right? Or,
right. Okay. Yeah, these are like the more defensive pink wards that you would use if you're playing like a more passive laner that you have to stay further back on or something like that. Or later in the game when your mid tower dies, because once your mid tower dies, then you kind of have to play a little bit further back and move all your wards back a little bit, just to keep safe, because you don't have the protection of your tower anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, also one more tip for pink wards that I've been seeing a lot in like Korean solo queue is, or like Korean competitive play also, is when you go to ward a brush, don't place a sight ward in there first. Like, let me just take all these off. Because say you go into this brush, there's a pink ward in this brush from the enemy team, and you go in there and place a regular sight ward, or place your pink ward in there before you actually walk into the brush. Well, now the enemy knows that you have a pink ward in there, right?
Right.
Because their pink ward just saw you place it. So you always want to walk into the brush first, clear their ward, and then place your ward. Because if you do that, then they don't know if you have a ward in there or not. Just a little tip, sometimes saves pink ward. Pretty minor thing, but... So here, Diana's trying to aggressively shove out the wave. just because she doesn't want to get harassed by you. And you just want to keep pushing out the wave, which you're doing, which is good. You probably want to place a ward at some point right now, because you don't actually know what side to play on. So right here you could move down and place a ward in the bottom river brush, or the right side, whatever you want to call that, just because that's really fast. And then you actually have safety to play on this side of the lane. You have safety to play like on this side of the lane again if you get a ward in this brush down here, which you can just like easily step over to the side through this way and ward it, right? Because this way you have no vision on either side of you right now, so you don't really know like if it's safe to shove out or safe to harass or stuff like that. So before you start doing all these things, you want to get some vision out there so you have some sort of clue of what your objective should be in the lane. Oh, missed cannon there.
Yep.
Generally speaking, you just want to always prioritize cannons, but it looked like you just missed your Q there by accident, so...
Yeah.
In here, you definitely really want to get a ward out sometime soon, but we already talked about that. Just try to like shove out the wave a little bit more aggressively. Like use your spells and stuff to shove out the wave, because if you can't shove out the wave, then you can't harass her, right? Because then the minions are just gonna go onto you. So like here, be using your Qs and stuff more on the wave to push it out faster, because Syndra can definitely outpush Diana, assuming you're using your Qs and stuff on the minions.
Right.
And also when you're pushed in like this, it prevents you from getting out deeper wards. Like you could be warding well, let me just bring up this one again. You could be warding like here and here, right? But because you're pushed so far into your lane and like playing in this area, you're forced to ward like these. So so just because you're not shoving out the lane, you're actually putting your team at a disadvantage by not giving them vision of this area. So like people can be roaming through here and you won't see them, or through here and you won't see them, because like these wards are kind of shitty, right? They're just like the wards that you put out there just to be lazy and because you're shoved out of lane or whatever. Yeah. So shoving out the lane is not only important for you to deny Diana, but also for your team. But you're getting some good harass on Diana here. And we get a ward out, which is good. And now you definitely want to play on this side of the lane, right?
Yeah.
Alright, which
At
looks
this
like
point, I probably could have just like gone for a deeper ward, I think.
You could. What just happened top? Someone just died top, right?
Yeah, I think what happened was Lee counter-ganked and got Shyvana a kill, or someone a kill.
Yeah, so Rengar just died top, so you probably could. I think Jarvan just ganked bottom too recently. Yeah, Jarvan was just bottom about 20 seconds before, like you can see on the minimap.
Okay.
So yeah, this is probably a good time to get a deep ward in their jungle. The best deep ward would be by their wraiths. So get rid of all this shit. Like right here, it's the best deep ward. This is also a really good one back here, but obviously that's a bit harder to get down. But yeah, this one will spot out if they're going to red or doing race. This one especially is really good versus Evelyn, because you can spot her doing wraiths. So yeah, that would probably be a good time to get deep ward out. Yeah. First, you want to probably shove out the wave though.
Yeah, yeah.
Because shoving out the wave gives you more vision, just in the lane in general. You could also, I think you get a kill here.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, that's good. And it's also good that you're playing to the right side also because Jarvan came in there. So if you're playing on the side that you didn't have warded, you probably would have been dead. So good thing you're playing on the right side there. Very important. So yeah, after you shove out this wave, we see like Lee Sin is fucking with Jarvan in his jungle. Oh, he put a ward there too. That's nice.
Yeah.
So you get a good deep ward there. You probably could have went and like warded the other side, like right here, come through here, and ward this. And that spot's when they come through here to do his wolves, or when they come through here from blue buff. So that's another really good deep ward, just on the opposite side. Could have done that instead of backing here. Since you have a lot of free time, we know Jarvan is just like farming the mid lane and he's super low. So here you definitely want to buy a pink ward instead of a mana potion.
A mana pot, yeah.
Yeah. Right now we have a lot of kill potential on Diana because you're level 6. And you also have your Ignite up, and we know that, well, we know that her flash is still down. You didn't time it, but as of right now, we know.
Yeah.
So this ward is kind of like pretty lazy.
Yeah.
For, like, not only did we just ward it right in front of her face, so she knows and can tell Jarvan that that side is warded. But also it's just in general pretty lazy. Like, doesn't really.
It doesn't give enough time for me to react to any shows that way.
Not only does it not give enough time, but if you look at this, like, what does this do when he can just jump over this and then ult you? You know what I mean? Like, not only is it a lazy ward, but also kind of does nothing in this situation. Like, he's probably not 6 yet, but he will be in the sometime in the next 3 minutes. And especially since it doesn't spot if you were to walk through, like, I can't really see it on this, but if you were to hug the wall up there and walk around, this actually won't see him because the vision doesn't go far enough. So if you were to like hug the wall and then go top, this ward would actually do nothing. And also, like, he could just jump over this wall, like I was saying. And because you essentially told Dinah, like, yo, what's up, I'm warding this. She can just tell Jarvan that it's warded. And
then like, come through right side.
Yeah, so it pretty much does nothing. So you definitely want to take the extra time to walk and, like, at least ward his wraiths. Because even if his wraiths are warded, it's not like he can, like, avoid it, right? He has to do his wraiths at some point if he wants it. I think this is just generally like a pretty free kill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good stun. Get the W on her and kill her. Nice. So here we can just shove out a wave and then go by, most likely. It's definitely a good time to back after this also because we know that blue buff is going to be up at about what is it, like 8 minutes, something like that. So here you should definitely just back. No reason to stay. You can back and go buy items because you can buy boots and like sell your mana potion for an amp tome or pick up a pink ward. But assuming you already bought a pink ward before, you would just buy an amp tome. Because at this point you get a kill, but you don't actually do anything with it. You're just hoarding onto the gold.
Yeah.
And especially since blue is going to be coming up soon. Oops, get out of here, Vast. Especially since blue is going to be coming up soon, you want to be able to utilize your blue buff a bit more with more damage items. Pick up a few kills here, it looks like.
Just one.
I think you guys get this one too.
Phenomenal flash.
Yeah.
And then I end up getting a blue anyway.
But yeah, I probably should have just, I don't know.
Well, the thing is, like, you could have roamed down to this anyway if you backed before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, if we look back to, like, this wave right here that you push and then kill, if you just back right here, you would get back to base at, like, 7:45, whatever, when your recall finishes. And then when does this shit start happening? Like, when you actually get to bottom lane. You get to bottom lane at 8:16, so you would have a full 30 seconds to run from base down to bottom lane, and you would also have boots, keep in mind, instead of having no boots. So if you backed before, you still could have made it down to this. You would have just missed like an extra wave middle, but you would have more items, and yeah. One thing I think I've noticed though is that, yeah, like this, I think what you're supposed to do as Syndra is drop your Q and then use your W and then use your E. Because if you notice, when you drop your Q and then E, your ball goes so far away that you can't actually W to anything.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to drop your Q, W, and then E. At least that's what I think you're supposed to do, because I noticed like a lot of times in this video,
yeah, I E my balls off and then like I can actually utilize my W.
Yeah, you just like kind of walk around with your W off cooldown for a little bit because you don't actually have anything to grab.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously this would be different if like there are minions around or something like that that you can actually grab, or like in the middle of the fight when you have multiple balls down. But for your first ball, I think you always want to W first before your E.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is good that you just turn around and kill this guy instead of chasing. We can also time her flash again right there. So 8:35 is when she uses her flash, so 13:25 or 35. That's when her flash will be up. Yeah, so now you come back middle again from this wave. Definitely want to back out to this wave at the very least. But I don't think you do.
We'll see if I
I don't think you do. I guess getting the tower here is relatively okay. I think it might have actually died just the minions anyway. But getting a tower here, and then like walking around this much gold is just so inefficient, because like you have all these kills and all this CS, but it doesn't actually mean anything because you don't have the gold in items pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
It's right here. Probably want to back.
Eventually.
Because nothing's going to happen right there.
Yeah.
I think you go back here and farm another wave. You kind of just want to like analyze situations when they happen, right? Like looking at this, it's like, what's really going to happen? Right? I mean, we look at it. Oh, let me rewind it just a little bit so we can see. Like, what's really going to happen? We look at Shyvana. Shyvana's like all the way down in no man's land, all the way down here. You're all the way over here. Like, what is Lee Sin going to do to this guy? Rengar's up here. Jarvan's just going to run through this way or run up, and there's nothing you guys are going to be able to do.
Mm-hmm. So,
like, if you just look at that, you're like, okay, fuck that, I'm not going, because, like, what's the point? And you can just back right here. But instead, you can go from 940 to just see how much time you waste. It sounds really nitpicky, but really, I mean, like, all these times that you're wasting, like, you could be in base right now, buying and running back. But farming out this wave instead. Because, like, the wave wouldn't have even been there yet. But you do get probably another free kill on Giant here.
Yeah. And I still don't go back.
And, like, it may seem like it's the right thing to do because this Diana just keeps dying. But if you're playing against better players that know, like, not to do this stuff, you know, it starts to matter a lot more, like how much time you're wasting and how much gold you're not spending, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I see a lot in lower elos is like, okay, good, pick up some wards here. I think you might pick up a pink here. Oh no. Picking up sweep here is like, it's okay. Let me go back to my thing I was saying before. Something I see in lower elos a lot is that people never back when they get kills. And like people get first blood and then like a minute or like 30 seconds later you see them die and it's like what what just happened? Like you just got first blood, how'd you die? It's because they never backed and spent their gold, so it's like the first blood means nothing. Also this ward is really bad. Right. Because their mid tower is down. So what is this ward really gonna do?
Yeah, it's way too defensive. Probably.
Yeah, it's way too defensive when you have their mid tower down. The best places to ward right now, I mean, it does spot out Jarvan there, which is pretty good. It's actually pretty clutch in the moment because it spots Jarvan out there. But in general, you want to be warding. Let me get this again. I like this map. It's pretty nifty. Generally, you want to be warding like here, here, or warding up here. Because warding this spots them pathing through these areas right here. Because since their mid tower is down right here, it's not up anymore. You can now watch like them pathing through their own jungle, which is really useful.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. And like here, you just want to get deeper wards because like this ward is like super defensive when you already have so much control over. Like once you get their mid tower down, you suddenly have like this reign of control just from having the mid tower down. And then once you get like all their outer towers down, then you have like this entire range of control over them instead of having like only this. So you're playing like you're still like cutting the river in half when in actuality the entire river is pretty much in your control right now. Not the entire river since you don't have top and bottom down, but at least a good portion of it. But it does spot out Jarvan there, which is pretty lucky, I would say. But good stun. Generally speaking, though, you want to wait until he actually uses his flag. You can do this to LeBlanc also, or like Kazakhs. Anyone that has a jump, you can do this on Syndra. Wait until they actually jump into you, and then you don't even have to hit them with the ball. You can just hit them with the E alone, and it will cancel their gap closer.
Oh, this is so embarrassing.
Yeah, you get a little greedy here. We all know the mistake. It's all good. Let's just see, like, in general, if you could have saw this coming or something like that. So we don't know where Diana is. Okay, we see Diana coming down. If you look on our minimap, we can see her. We can see her cutting you off right now. So actually, what you want to be doing here is cutting off Diana. But I don't think you actually see her. I think she kind of blindsides you. Yeah. So what you want to be doing is cutting off Diana, killing her instantly, and then getting out. That's pretty much what you want to do. Because then that gives you not like an advantage, but it gives you turns into a 2v3 instead of a 4v2, or a 2v3 instead of a 2v4. Especially when you have like the sweeper and you're looking to sweep boards out and stuff and make picks. You always want to be looking for the pick instead of the team fight, right? Because if we look at the team comps, they have a very all-in team comp. You guys have a very pick-based team comp. So you always want to be looking for the picks instead of the actual team fight. Which you were set up perfectly to do there, just a little lapse in map awareness. Okay, back tier but didn't buy a ward. Probably should have bought a ward.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should always buy at least one ward in your back. Usually, like, what I do, I always buy 2 health potions and a ward. Is what I try to do every game, like, or every back. That's why I try to buy, like, base. If I can afford a pink ward, then I will, if I don't have one on the map already. Because at this point, you guys have mid tower down, but you're not really using... Actually, have mid tower and bot tower down. And you're kind of using the bot tower advantage by getting this ward on their blue, which is a nice deep ward. But in terms of top lane, you don't really... Not really using your advantage because you don't have a ward in the lane, in the mid lane. And you also don't have a ward, like, deep anywhere near their red. So you definitely want to be buying wards to take advantage of that. I think you could have killed her there.
Maybe. I wasn't really confident about it since I missed my stun.
I think if you just dropped another Q and ignited her and then ult.
Possibly.
Yeah, because that did like that did so much damage to her. Yeah, it's okay. I try not to call out on like mechanical misplays or anything like that because like you can fix your mechanics by just playing more, but stuff like vision control and stuff like that is a lot harder to learn by yourself. Oh, good kill on Rengar there. And there, you get the W, that's good. I'll just say. Definitely want to get the W there to drop slow on her. So that's good. Here you have Thresh up coming from up the side, same with Lee Sin. I think they see you coming up though because they're converging on blue buff or they're going bottom. Oh, you don't want to get that close to Diana.
Definitely not, no.
Yeah. Just try to play her range a little bit more. I mean, you guys might have actually been able to kill her there with Thresh, but generally speaking, just you want to stay as far away as possible on Syndra because you don't have an escape. So it's like even more so, you can get chunked out pretty hard before you know it. You want to think about your gold right here, like whenever you're backing or thinking about backing, you just want to think like beforehand, how much gold do I want to back with, ideally. And right now you probably want to get 1600 at least, so you can get your rod.
That's what I was aiming for.
Yeah, so but if there's nothing else you can do, you could just back him by like blasting one and some wards and it'll be fine. But yeah, generally speaking, you just want to always think beforehand, and like all this time that you're using to go like look for farm, you maybe could have just went top. Because like how much time do we actually waste here after we farm this wave? $15:30. So right now we see Rengo top. Shyvana is going top right now as well. You could just be running top right now. Like I know you're looking for something to farm, that's why you go to race, try to get the extra gold. But at this point, you could just walk up through their jungle. Got the map open already. Nice. Undo. And then you can just walk through their jungle like this, and then go top. Yeah. Obviously not through the wall like that. Don't waste your flash. But walk through this way. And just gank top, because instead of like wasting all this time, it was like 15:30, right? And now it's 15:50. It's 20 seconds. You could have backed and like been halfway back to lane already. 55.
Yeah, I think I just tunneled way too hard on that 1600
Yeah.
gold number.
And also
There's not even anything for me to do here.
Yeah, and like the way that you guys path through, because you path through this way, he knew exactly, because like you know he's gonna have this warded. Like top laners always ward that shit, or like they're gonna have this warded. Like they're you never want to go the most obvious way, because you can just they're gonna have that warded. So it's better to just go through the long way, this way, just to be safer and, well, not safer, but to not waste your time like going up there and just walking through a ward. So we're almost at a minute now.
Yeah.
Until we finally make it back to mid lane to get this farm. See, like at this point you could have just like backing and buying the blasting wand and some wards would have just been better.
Right.
And here you're probably screwed.
And I die for it, yeah.
Yeah. This is why the ward in the lane is really good. Because you can see him just like walking through the lane to kill you. Because you guys have pretty good wards set up everywhere else, right? The only place that you can actually get ganked is through the lane. That's why that lane ward is so good. Just fast forward through this. So I'll pick up needlessly large rod. Definitely want to pick up wards. And this is partially due to your pit comp too, right? Because you guys have such a heavy pit comp, you need wards to like know where the enemy team is. They could definitely just outplay this right now. Oh no! Oh no! Not like that. They can't.
If I played this right, I probably could have gotten both.
Potentially. I think if you just went straight for Lucian here, like flash on Lucian, throw your W, and then ult him, and then turn around for Diana, because you know Thresh is coming out behind you. Yeah.
Poor guy didn't get assist for giving me a shield.
And here it looks like you're setting up for something. Looking for a pick or something like that.
Not really optimal to do when I have no wards on that side, though.
Yeah, and it's also like, who's actually going to be walking through there? Right? Like Lucian was super low. They're all mid lane. But that's okay. It's the thought that counts. Here you could be like, whenever you're running away, you want to be dropping balls. Because you have blue buff. So like, just drop your ball so you can W. And like, right there you also did the thing where you dropped where you used your E before your W, so you didn't have anything to W with. Because like right there, maybe they could have potentially like flashed after you or something, and you have no flash up and kill you. Something, like you never know. So just dropping a ball, because it has no impairment to movement. It has no, yeah, I guess that's what best way to say it is. It doesn't impair your movement to cast Q. So you can just do it freely and then pick up a ball and you're fine. So right here, if you had wards, you could definitely be putting them down to get some vision control. And like, so you have 2 towers mid down and 1 on each side. So, whoops, fuck, I went, there we go. Alright, so if we have this tower down and these 2 towers down and this tower down, so they have this tower, and the inners. That means you can ward, here is a good ward. And that brush that's right there, you can ward here to spot the rotation in between, because they might try to rotate through here. And this will also spot the rotations through here, or if they're rotating like the other way around, anything like that, or if they're like rotating through here to protect their top tower, also works out. So these two wards are probably the most important right now, and also you can also put a ward right here and it'll be good. Lane wards in mid lane especially are really good, and also like when you get the top lane tower down, a ward right here is really good in the lane because it spots them coming out of the base. Right here, not so much. Like this doesn't really do anything. This one is a lot better.
Right.
You can't really do it over on this side because there's not like a gap. It's only this one right here. But yeah, so those are the kind of wards you want right now. I know it looks kind of messy. Here, here, and here.
It's still decipherable.
You also want to consider like when you're backing what your team is doing. So we see them pushing top. So right now you want to be pressuring mid a lot. You don't really want to roam up. You just want to pressure mid and then make a pick when they try to rotate. But right now that you let mid lane reset, look at your vision control in the mid lane.
Yeah, pretty poor.
Yeah, you lost this entire wave of like vision right now. So you have no idea if Lucian is actually coming up or not. Like, it's much better to push the wave and force them either to defend it or lose a tower. And then if they try to rotate, you have the vision there, so then you can make a pick during the rotation. Like if you pushed up, you would have forced Diana to stay in the lane and farm it, and then when she goes to rotate, then you could have picked her off. But right now you're a little bit behind because you don't have the actual vision of her rotating.
Right.
And then now we see Lucian. I think you can clean this entire fight up though. Maybe that ult was a little bit overkill.
Yeah, it was definitely.
Yeah, I think if you just queued them and then saved your ult, you probably could have killed all of them right here.
I get way too greedy here, my gosh.
Like, here's another example though. This is like perfect example. Right now I can tell you're just like spamming W, right?
Yeah.
You're like, where's my ball? Where's my ball? Like, I want to use my W, but you can't because you used your E.
And then I end up having to go for the riskier W and end up dying for it.
Yeah. It was actually next level play right there, giving the kill to Rengar so it can transfer the buffs. Yeah, it's just something I would work on, like getting used to doing is using your W before you use your E. I definitely think you should go Hourglass in this case instead of going Death Cap.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you should have went Hourglass. Ideally, you would go Athene's Hourglass Death Cap, in my opinion. I think would be the best.
Yeah, I agree.
But in this case, if you're choosing between Death Cap or Hourglass, Hourglass is probably better. Like I was saying before, like it wouldn't be as bad if you had another easy threat on your team to kill, but with the Caitlyn, they're always gonna go for you first, because it's like you're just the obvious one.
Yeah.
You throw the blue buff there, it gives you an extra 1 mana. Did you know that?
I thought it was 10.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Huh.
I think so.
Oh, an extra 10 mana. And here also, you always want to sell your Dorn's items for rewards.
Yeah.
It's something that you see in professional play a lot. Always sell your Dorn's items because Dorns don't mean shit at this point in the game. Like, a ward is worth like 1,000 gold in terms of like combat stats. Just because, like,
The
with
potential
your
for a pick.
yeah, potential for a pick into an objective is just so much better than just having like a Doran's. Like, what are the odds that a Doran's ring is going to make a difference?
not much compared to Ward, probably.
Right, very low in wards, especially considering you guys have like no vision in their jungle anymore. You have the entire outer ring almost down in towers, but you still have like no vision control. So whenever you take something, you always want to leave some vision behind. Otherwise, there's no point in actually taking it. Lee Sin should either. Nice, he gets it. Well, you're getting a little bit too aggressive here.
Yeah.
You don't want to position yourself that close. Let's take advantage of your spell ranges. So you catch... That's a good knockback, and then Shyvana goes into zone. That's good. And then right here, you know he's going to get pulled back a little bit, right?
So I could just like stay like behind Thresh a little and still get my ulti off, I think.
Yeah, he's going to get pulled to like right here with the hook. So you could be like moving back right here, and this positions yourself from not getting engaged on right here from this. But instead I think you move like right here to get a little bit closer. So just take advantage of your spell ranges, play on the outside, move over here, play in this area, throw your crew out, and then this allows Shyvana to move right here and zone out these two. Because Lucian is just going to die from your ult immediately. Instead you move a little bit too aggressive here, makes it harder to peel. I think you probably end up living here anyway, but...
Yeah, it's still a mistake worth mentioning.
Yeah. So there you use the right order, just do it a little bit too fast. I also don't know if that bug still exists with Syndra WE. Like
I'm not sure if there's like a definitive bug for it, but it's still like very unreliable as to whether a WE actually stuns or not.
Yeah.
It's annoying as hell.
It's actually supposed to slow and stun. But sometimes it only slows. And then sometimes it doesn't stun at all, or it doesn't slow either.
Yeah, it's so annoying, man.
Yeah, I was on a team with the Syndra main, and yeah, I hear complaints about it all the time. Because it would just randomly not work.
Did his name happen to be Orb?
No, his name was Foscriptor.
Okay.
Yeah. He has like 1 million games on Syndra. Ooh,
gosh.
The sick outplay.
There it is. It's him.
Okay. At this point, you just want to be pushing mid lane, shove out so you get the vision. And the last hour tower here is bottom. So you want to be doing right now is pushing mid lane to get control there, and then get a ward. What the heck is this? What the fuck is going on? Okay. Then you want to get a ward right here, the ward I was talking about before. Because once you push up and get vision in this area, then you force, and you also have vision in this area because Kate is pushing top, and they only have this outer tower left up. So you push us up, and then you can see them rotating through here. And also like a ward right here is pretty decent too right now. Just get 2 wards right here, and then you can just go as a team, push this shit down, and then you have all the outer towers down, and then you can rotate to warding like this, and then forcing a Baron pretty easily. Just like pink ward right here potentially, or just sweep out these areas, and then you can just force a Baron super easy. But first you want to get all the outer towers down, and then you can start forcing Baron. Because once you get all those, then you start having vision in like of literally everything. Because once you have vision of their entire base right here, like whenever they walk out of their base, it's so easy to force a Baron because you can just be like, okay, it takes us 15 seconds to do a Baron. It's going to take them 15 seconds to walk from their base to here. We can just do this Baron, and there's no chance of them taking it. So once you get all the outer towers down, it's very easy to just take a free dragon, or I mean a free Baron.
Yeah.
But right here, pushing out middle is fine. Unfortunately, you don't have any wards, so you can't actually ward those areas. Yeah, like here, you're not actually accomplishing anything by being up here.
I really wanted the Jarvan, man. Yeah, but going bot probably would have been better.
Yeah, or just like continue the pressure middle.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, you would have some wards so you could pressure middle, go ward, and then go back and push middle again, and then tell your team to push bottom.
Yeah.
Here you're stacking orbs. Try to make a pick, which is fine.
Here it comes.
This guy's about to get wrecked. DFG
Yeah.
ult. Yeah. Ripping pepperonis.
I think the most satisfying thing ever, like, while playing Syndra is just like watching people flash mid ulti and they still die. It's the most satisfying thing ever.
Alright, pushing up mid here, which is good. And your team is bottom, so you just want to push mid and then rotate immediately down. Okay, there you go. Ideally, if you had a ward, you could ward it, but again, you don't have one, so it's all good. Here, miss your E.
Mm-hmm.
And you could just, like, yeah, I was saying, you could just come through here. I don't know why your team is, like, where they're even going right now. That wasn't really your fault because you're in the right position. Just, I don't know what your team was doing, but okay. So we get a kill here, and then right here you can just swing middle, like Thresh and Lee Sin are doing to go for the inhibitor, because you already have a wave pushing up, right?
Yeah.
Like
Only really need one person bottom for that.
I mean, you don't even really need anyone bottom, because if I always forget that your minimap's on the left. I'm not used to that. It's been a while since my minimap has been on the bottom left. Yeah, if you guys just rotate through here and go to push this tower, because you already have this wave right here. Your wave is already pushing up. You can just take this really easily. I think you killed 2, but death timers at this point in the game, 25 minutes, probably only like 25 seconds. I don't really know the exact time, like 25, 30 seconds, something like that. Maybe it's longer, I'm not really sure. But you want to be able to kill the tower inhibitor fast enough to where the enemy team, and recall fast enough to where the enemy team can't just like do a Baron, like chase you out of the base and then do Baron. Because if you don't send everyone middle to do this, then they can potentially just chase out of their base after you take the inhibitor, and then just go straight to Baron. And like, maybe a Baron doesn't mean that much for them at this point in the game, but it's still like a comeback factor that could potentially lose you the game. So you guys definitely just want to rotate really quick, right up through mid lane, take the inhibitor and tower. But splitting for this is... it's not terrible, it's just it could have been better, right? Buying death cap here, you probably should have pushed another turret first before you buy. Buy some wards. Yes! Yeah, so like this kind of situation I was talking about before, where if you don't push it fast enough, then they can just chase you out, get some return kills, potentially get an objective after. But here you should just be going middle.
Yeah.
Because like running all the way bottom, just like protect this guy running away, which he should be fine, just running away anyway. Because Dragon Lady is OP. But yeah. See, like you guys get the tower middle, you probably could have gotten the inhibitor. You might still get it. Why
Probably
is there...
the best I could have done given that bad positioning.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Shyvana.
I mean, this actually turns out to be good for your team, because for some reason their team is like 3 people bottom.
All still bottom.
Yeah, when you're pushing their base. So that was actually fine, I guess. Yeah, not really sure why their team would do that, but what an insect kick. Yeah, now that you have 2 inhibitors down, or 1 inhibitor down their Nexus turrets, you should just take Baron for free here and then push to end the game. We'll just fast forward. I think like at this point the game is pretty much over, so we'll just see how you guys end. You want to get deeper vision in Like, especially when you ever take this inhibitor, you want to get... I see you don't have wards again. But, whenever you push inhibitor, you always want to leave a ward behind. Just, like, leave a ward where their tower died. Gives you a ton of vision, like I was saying earlier. You can just easily do Baron whenever you want if you have the inside of their base warded. Because you know exactly when they leave.
Right.
And you just in general want to get deeper wards in their jungle so you can make a pick. Because right now, if they're rotating through their jungle, you actually have like no idea because you only have one ward.
Oh god, it's coming.
Is this the Rango?
This is the Baron throw. No
sweep on the Baron.
Yeah.
No pink ward, no wards in their jungle at all.
Scar would be proud. Yeah.
Okay, so we already know the mistake, right? Because we just talked through the entire thing. Like, what you need to do is set up a Baron. Get deep wards, preferably get some lane wards so you know when they're leaving their base. And then sweep the Baron area, get some pink wards around Baron. Do I still have the map up? Fuck, no I don't. Let me pause this. So like ideally the pink ward positions will be right here and in here. And then you can sweep. If you have upgrade sweeper, you can sweep this, this, and this all with one sweeper. If you have the upgrade sweeper, you just use your sweeper on this area and then you run through these brushes and you can clear all of it. These two pink wards will clear everything on the Baron area, and then you want deep ward right here, deep ward right here, and since you have these two inhibitors down, deep ward right here, deep ward right here. This gives you 100% free Baron. There's absolutely no way that they can steal the Baron if you have these things set up. And if they do try to come, you get a free pick on them because you have Syndra, Thresh, and Lee Sin. Like 100% free, easy Baron, and then you just push in for the win.
Yeah.
I also should suggest like upgrading your sweeper earlier.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the normal sweeper sucks. Like,
yeah,
it just sweeps like one tiny little brush, and if they ward like just right outside of it, won't spot it. Upgrade sweeper is only 475 gold, and it's worth like 2k, like maybe even more. You can okay. Here you go. Upgrade the sweeper. Nice. It's like not even. Can't even like put it into gold value. It's just so good.
Priceless. Exactly.
And your team should also have 4 sweepers at this point, at least. But I see they only have 2. Luckily, you're one of the few people that have had one since level 9, so that's good. Wow, this game is actually pretty close in kills. That is really surprising. Like, I sound like a broken record, but your objective at this point is still has been the same for like the past 10 minutes. Like, you just want to get deep wards and try to pressure objectives. So at this point, like, this amp tome could definitely be wards for sure.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hello, J4.
You can E him, like I was saying before.
Yeah, that was a panic flash there.
Yeah. It's kind of like the similar thing to Thresh Flay. Like, you could just E him out of that. You actually don't have to hit him with a ball, because your E does a passive knockback by itself. So you can just knock him out. Even if you don't have the ball set up, it's fine. It won't stun him, but it will still cancel his knockback.
Yeah, I think that's the game there.
Alright. Okay. Nice Rengar ult. Well, do you have any questions or anything like that?
No, I don't think so. You seem to have covered everything like really extensively that I wanted to know about.
Okay, cool. Well, if you ever have any questions, you can just talk to me on Skype or whatever, and I'll try to help you out.
All right.
And if you don't have any questions, then I guess that's it.
All right. Thanks for your time, man.
Thank you.
All right. See you later.
See ya.